Listen to me closely. What you are seeing on your screens today is not just another political headline, it is the sound of an engine stalling while the driver screams that we are winning the race. Right now, in March 2026, the United States economy is hitting a brutal wall, and President Donald Trump is completely losing his grip on the narrative. Welcome, folks. I have been watching the news spin for decades, and I can tell you right now, this is the most critical, breaking story of the year. Before I pull back the curtain and show you the hard numbers the White House is desperately trying to hide today, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button right now. You need to subscribe to this channel because as this economic crash unfolds, I am going to be the only one giving you the unfiltered truth about your money, your job, and what this administration is actually doing behind closed doors. You will not get this raw truth anywhere else. Now, let us get straight to the facts. Just days ago, Trump stood up in front of the cameras, puffed out his chest, and told the American people that the economy is roaring like never before. He claimed inflation is plummeting and everyone is doing great. But out here in the real world, the reality is a totally different beast, and it is biting hard. We just got the brand new numbers today, and they are downright ugly. Overall economic growth has practically ground to a dead halt. But what is happening right this second is what should have you worried. Nearly 100,000 jobs vanished just last month. Poof, gone. And instead of fixing it, the president is digging a deeper hole. You go to the grocery store today and you feel it instantly. Beef is way up. Coffee is up almost 20%. Why? Because of these massive new tariffs Trump slapped on almost everything coming into the country. He promised these taxes would make us rich, but everyday American families are the ones footing the bill for it. And then look at the gas pump. Trump's sudden new conflict in the Middle East has thrown global oil into pure chaos. Gas prices are shooting through the roof, draining whatever is left in your wallet from your paycheck. The cost of just keeping the lights on and feeding your family has become a daily nightmare for millions of Americans. Yet, when confronted with this absolute mess, Trump does not offer a lifeline. He loses it. He points fingers at everyone else, completely ignoring the massive fire he helped start. The great illusion of his roaring economy is shattering into a million pieces right before our very eyes. Look at the gross domestic product numbers they just dropped on us today. For those who do not speak Wall Street, the GDP is basically the ultimate scorecard of how healthy our country is. The White House promised us huge, record-breaking growth. They looked into the cameras and said it would be a golden age, but the brand new data just revealed the economy grew by a miserable 0.7% in the last quarter. 0.7, that is not a roar, that is a flat line. It is the weakest economic growth we have seen in nearly a decade, and it is happening right under Donald Trump's watch. But instead of stepping up to the microphone and leveling with the American people, what does the president do? He goes on social media and brags. Just yesterday, as families were scraping the bottom of the barrel to pay astronomical prices at the pump due to this sudden war in Iran, Trump actually posted that when oil prices go up, quote, we make a lot of money. We, who is this we he is talking about? Because I can promise you, the single mother working two jobs is not making a lot of money when it costs her a day's wage just to fill up her car. Everyday Americans are not making money when their grocery bills jump 20%. This is exactly why you need to keep watching this channel. If you have not subscribed yet, hit the button right now. The big television networks are getting distracted by the loud arguments and the political circus. But I am going to keep following the money. I will keep exposing who is actually profiting off your pain while your wallet gets lighter. Because while the president is cheering for expensive oil, the American workforce is crumbling. We are going backwards. Last month alone, 92,000 jobs vanished. 92,000 hardworking Americans woke up and were told they no longer had a paycheck to feed their kids. This is not a random accident. This is the direct result of reckless policies. The White House tries to blame this massive job loss on everyone else, but the truth is, the American economy is choking on these chaotic new tariffs and an overseas conflict nobody asked for. Businesses are terrified. They do not know what the rules will be tomorrow, so they are freezing. They are firing people instead of hiring. And the absolute worst part of all this is only the very beginning of the crash. Let us look at where this economic disease is spreading next. It is not just the grocery aisles or the gas stations anymore. It is infecting the very foundation of the American dream. The housing market. Today, the numbers on home sales hit rock bottom. Mortgages are completely out of reach for the average family because interest rates are sitting at punishing heights. The big banks are terrified of the chaos coming from the White House. So they are locking their vault doors tight. Nobody can borrow. Nobody can buy a home. The whole system is freezing solid right before our eyes. And how does Donald Trump handle this absolute freezing of the American economy? Does he calm the markets? Does he offer a solid plan? No, he completely loses it. Just hours ago, during a briefing that was supposed to reassure the public, the president had a total meltdown. He started shouting at reporters who simply asked him about the falling job numbers. He pointed fingers at the Federal Reserve. He blamed foreign countries. He even blamed his own chosen advisors. He threw everyone under the bus to avoid taking one single ounce of responsibility for the crash happening on his watch. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. You must subscribe to this channel because the big networks are going to try and spin this meltdown. They will try to tell you it is just politics as usual, but we are tracking the real story here. You need the unfiltered truth about how this economic disaster will impact your family, and you will only get that truth right here. The reality is, Donald Trump is panicking. He built his entire image on being the ultimate businessman, the master builder who would make the economy invincible. But now, the tower is swaying, and the bricks are falling out. He thought he could use tariffs as a magic wand. He thought he could bully global markets into submission, but the market does not care about angry speeches or late-night social media posts. The market only cares about stability, and right now, the White House is the biggest source of instability on the planet. Factories that bought into the promises are shutting down their assembly lines. The farmers who were told these trade wars would make them rich are filing for bankruptcy at record speeds. They are drowning in debt while the administration tells them everything is perfectly fine. The American worker is suffering, and the man in charge is simply losing it. Look at the retirement accounts. Check the savings. What is happening on Wall Street today is an absolute bloodbath. Hardworking citizens are logging into their bank apps right now, watching years of blood, sweat, and tears just vaporize into thin air. The stock market, which the president always treated like his own personal applause meter, is currently in a terrifying freefall. The giant tech companies are bleeding out. Major corporations are freezing their entire supply chains because they simply cannot afford the parts they need from overseas anymore. The new tariffs are acting like a giant, unstoppable wrecking ball, smashing right through American businesses from coast to coast. This is not just a temporary dip, this is a structural collapse, and the people in power are completely panicked. Behind closed doors at the White House, the leaks are pouring out today. Multiple reports are confirming that the Oval Office is in a state of absolute chaos. The president is desperately searching for a scapegoat. One minute he is threatening to fire the head of the Federal Reserve, and the next minute he is raging at his own treasury officials. The man who promised to run the country like a smooth, highly profitable business is standing in the middle of a burning boardroom, yelling at the smoke. If this complete breakdown is making your blood boil, hit that subscribe button right now. Do not wait. Subscribing to this channel is the only way to guarantee you get the unvarnished facts as this financial storm hits your very own community. The mainstream media is going to try to soften the blow. They will try to distract you with the political shouting matches. But the mission right here is to track your money, track the truth, and expose exactly who is mismanaging the future of this country. The disconnect between the politicians in Washington and the people on Main Street has never been this massive. While the administration releases frantic statements claiming the stock market will magically bounce back tomorrow, everyday folks are just wondering how to pay for a loaf of bread today. Giant corporations are hoarding cash, preparing for the worst, and handing out pink slips to the factory workers who built this country. The grand promises of bringing back the golden age of American manufacturing have officially turned into dust. Factories are not opening up. They are shuttering their windows, turning off the machines, and locking their gates. The very people who believed the economy was finally bulletproof are now the ones standing in the unemployment lines, realizing the great economic comeback was nothing more than a reality television illusion. Watch the storefronts on Main Street right now. The giant corporations are bleeding, but the true heart of the American economy is completely flatlining today. Small businesses are getting wiped off the map at a terrifying speed. Breaking financial reports released just hours ago show credit card defaults hitting an absolute all-time record. Hardworking families are suddenly forced to put everyday groceries on high interest plastic just to survive the week. The paychecks are no longer stretching, and crushing interest rates are strangling the working class. How is the commander in chief responding to this historic mountain of debt? By completely deflecting and losing his temper in a frantic barrage of official statements issued this morning. The president actually claimed the banks are stronger than ever and consumers are thriving. It is a shocking detachment from reality. The man running the country is essentially screaming at the fire alarms instead of putting out the blazing fire. The polished executives on the big networks will not show the boarded up windows spreading across local neighborhoods. That is exactly why hitting the subscribe button right now is absolutely essential. Subscribing to this channel ensures the real, hard truth about this massive economic crash reaches the public. The facts cannot be hidden behind an angry political rally. And this channel is solely dedicated to tracking the money the politicians are trying to hide. Hit subscribe and stay ahead of the collapse. Look straight at the American auto industry today. It is a total disaster zone. Assembly lines in Michigan and Ohio are grinding to a screeching halt this very afternoon. Chaotic trade wars have made raw materials so incredibly expensive that building a car in America is rapidly becoming impossible. Dealership lots are packed with vehicles nobody can afford to buy. The loyal workers are being sent home today with zero idea when they will ever be called back. The panic inside the administration is spilling out for the whole world to see. White House economic advisors are completely contradicting each other on live television today. One official claims inflation is contained, while another admits emergency measures are needed immediately. The leadership is entirely fracturing under the pressure. The economic ship is taking on massive amounts of water, and the captain is completely losing it, busy blaming the ocean instead of fixing the hole in the boat. Listen to the warning bells ringing across the globe today. The fallout is no longer just contained inside our borders. The almighty American dollar, the very bedrock of the global economy, is taking a historic beating right now. Foreign nations are smelling blood in the water. They are looking at the chaos erupting from the White House. They are watching the total collapse of our domestic markets, and they are actively turning their backs on our currency. The foundation of our national wealth is cracking wide open today. And how is Donald Trump dealing with this massive blow to American prestige? Complete and utter fury. Just moments ago, reports flooded in that the president was screaming at his foreign policy advisors. He is demanding immediate retaliation against allied nations who are simply trying to protect their own economies from our massive crash. He is treating global diplomacy like a cheap reality show feud, burning bridges at the exact moment we desperately need a lifeboat. He is completely losing it on the world stage. This is the exact reason you must hit that subscribe button right now. Do not wait another second. You need to subscribe to this channel because the mainstream talking heads are too busy analyzing political polls to tell you that your savings are bleeding value on the global market. We are watching the real numbers, the hard facts, and the undeniable truth of a financial meltdown. Hit subscribe to shield yourself with the truth because the people in charge are simply flying blind. Look at the national debt clock today. It is spinning so fast, it is practically catching fire. To cover up the absolute disaster of these failed economic policies, the administration is printing money like it is monopoly cash. They are throwing billions at giant corporations, hoping to artificially inflate the numbers before the next election cycle. The working class is being handed the largest bill in human history, all while the president loudly declares that the economy is a masterpiece. Let us bring this all home. The writing is on the wall, and it is in giant glowing red letters. We are standing at the absolute edge of a massive financial cliff today. The numbers do not lie. The empty factories do not lie. The terrifying grocery bills wiping out your hard-earned paychecks definitely do not lie. The only thing spinning a fairy tale right now is the White House. The administration is cornered, and the president is entirely losing his grip on the narrative. He can yell at reporters and post angry messages all night long, but he cannot yell away a collapsing economy. Before I wrap this up, you need to make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. This is the grand finale for today, but the story is far from over. Subscribe to this channel because when the market opens tomorrow, the panic will start all over again, and I am going to be right here breaking down exactly what it means for your wallet. The big networks will sell you political theater, but I will give you the unfiltered truth. Do not face this financial storm without the facts. Hit subscribe and join the only community awake to the reality of this crisis. Look at the legacy being built right this second. The grand promises of a golden age have completely shattered. We were told we would be tired of winning. Instead, the American worker is just plain tired. Tired of the rising prices, tired of the vanishing jobs, and tired of a leader who throws a tantrum instead of throwing a lifeline. The great American economic engine is sputtering out, and the man holding the keys is simply losing his mind, trying to blame the passengers. The truth is harsh, but it is the only thing that will protect your family in the coming months. Giant corporations are bailing themselves out while everyday folks are left holding an empty bag. We are not going to let them hide it. Prepare yourselves. Protect your savings. Stay absolutely vigilant. The crash is not coming anymore. It is already here, sitting right on our front door steps. I will keep the lights on and the camera rolling to make sure you see every single crack in the foundation as it happens. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next update.